Once upon a time, there was a little boy called Howard who loved writing stories.
Little Howard dreamed of being a writer, and so he sat and wrote every night. But everything he wrote was fucking shite, yeah. Wubba-dubba-doo, wubba-dubba-doo. Worst writer in the world, worst writer in the world, worst writer in the world, worst writer in the world. He's a stupid, suck-ass, rubbish writer.
Welcome to the worst writer in the world with me, Rufus, and he can fly and set himself on fire. It's...
Hooray! Hooray! It's Howard Long.
Thank you to the British Comedy Guide for hosting this show. Thanks to all of our lovely patrons on Patreon for continuing to support this show financially. And thanks to you for supporting it in a less helpful way. But still, we still appreciate it. You know, you're all right, aren't you? Pretty good.
It's nice. It's really nice for you to listen to this show whilst we're sat here starving to death. That's fine.
Yeah, it's lucky you can't. It's lucky we don't do video series, or you'd be able to see our poor bony, waif-like bodies, wouldn't you?
We are. I mean, like, look, in the background, you can probably see Ohio Grant just waiting to eat me because I'm so close because you haven't signed up to the secret gang.
Yeah, sharpening his fork.
His fork. Yeah, his famous fork.
He's sharpening his famous fork, circling overhead like a buzzard.
Yeah. Yeah, flying like he does famously flying, holding his fork, like we all know.
Well, how else did he get out of that chimney if he couldn't fly up out of it, right?
True.
So yeah, Ohio Grant circling above,
and how else?
Sharpening his famous fork.
And how else did he eat a skeleton if he didn't use a fork?
Exactly, canon. All right, so but we're not doing Midnight Smoke because we did that years ago. What we're doing now is The Last Olympian.
Ooh.
A very exciting story about a drug dealer. Right.
Professional drug dealer.
Sorry, professional drug dealer. Yeah. Not an amateur drug dealer. A drug dealer who lives in poor South London but sells in rich North London. And he made some drugs and went with his new driver, Shin, to North London.
Hooray!
Because he can't drive because he doesn't understand the gear stick properly. Right? Went to North London and then Shin ran off.
Oh, no.
Right? She got distracted by a gold bar.
Fair enough.
Yeah, a pub, that is. And ran off, and he followed her, and they both kind of got in trouble, and then he left her behind.
Oh, shit.
And as far as we know, she's dead.
And he got in a van, back in the van.
He got in the van that he couldn't drive.
Learned to drive.
Drove it into a river. It exploded, but he was okay.
Ah.
Because he had his explosion-proof skin on or whatever.
Yeah.
And then he went back to the pub to see Cavency and Megacles. He's decided to help them after all. He refused the call before, but now he's got to do it, right?
Yeah, he's got to do it because he's a wanted man.
So before we start, I'd like to just put, for my sake, as much as anyone else's, I'd like to put a little content warning on the beginning of this episode for body horror.
Right.
Right? If you get disturbed by, not particularly graphic, but still descriptions of, bits being cut off and out of people's bodies, then you might want to just brace yourself for this one. Like I said, not actually graphically described, but described. And it disturbed me, so I just want you to be ready for it. All right? Okay, let's get started, shall we?
Yes, please.
All right, so at this point in the story, Samael has finally agreed to help Cavency defeat inequality by getting a job. Cut to interior/exterior, Jeep, countryside, dusk. A roofless, safari-style Jeep rattles over hilly scrubland in the emerging dark of evening. Ooh, showing up a bit there.
Thank you.
Samael, with newly dyed light brown hair, sits in the rear with Cavency. Megacles drives because he is the Jeep. No, Megacles drives. Cavency shouts over the noise of the wind rushing past. All right. You'll have no chance to acclimatise. We'll do the transplant and then you'll be straight in the city. You'll be straight. You won't be gay in the city, okay? Mortimer is to be met by Astor. Oh, fucking hell. Jeff. Where's fucking Jeff? No. Mortimer is to be met by Astor. Biotech PR. I'm just saying some words.
So it's, yeah.
Fucking sci-fi. Just saying some words.
Yeah, it's very poorly described, and it's harkening back again to something from earlier. He's going to be taking the place of someone called Mortimer Sykes.
Okay.
And Mortimer Sykes is being met by Astor, who works for PR. But Astor is, as we might remember, the steely-eared of us might remember, is the
Hang on, yes, I do remember. Yeah. No, I do remember. Yeah. Astor is George Jetson's dog. Right? I'm right, right? Yeah, I'm getting that one right. George. Yeah. Nailed it. Okay, amazing memory.
Yeah, well done. Yeah, no, she's the hot redhead we saw in the Gold Bar.
Oh shit. Yeah. So, but he doesn't know that, presumably.
No, he doesn't know that.
And nor do we as the audience, because we only know it because we read the name in the script, probably.
Yeah, exactly. That'll be a big surprise later, as long as nobody like me spoils it by telling you now.
I'll tell you what, I'll cut it. I'll cut the bit where you actually explain it, and we'll pretend it really is George Jetson's dog.
Yeah, good.
All right. We'll go with that, and then no one will know, and it'll still be a surprise for everyone. Brilliant. I'll do it as Astro. So, Mortimer's been met by Astro. You know, George Jetson's dog goes around going, Rorge. You know. Anyway, that talking dog that no one seems to notice is a talking dog. That'll be meeting Mortimer. So, you'll be him straight off. You'll be him because...
You'll beat him off? What? Beat him straight off?
You'll beat him because you'll be straight, okay, in the city. But... You know how sometimes straight people, like straight men, have to beat off another man?
Yeah.
All right, so you'll be him, not beat him straight off. You'll be him straight off. You'll immediately be Mortimer. He talks more champagne than you, like 4 weddings. He talks more champagne than you, like 4 weddings. What does that mean? I mean, 4 Weddings is capitalised like it's the name of the movie.
It is the name of the movie. Here? It means like everyone's posh in that movie. I guess this is a movie they've still got on Betamax in the future.
Yeah, because what did we work out? You wrote this in like 2007. Yeah, that's a long time ago. And 4 Weddings was very current in 2007.
Yeah,
they're only like 12 years old or something. Even if they buy it, you'll need to be on guard 24/7. Keep on your white toes. I can be contacted here. Hands him a telephone number. But only if necessary and never from an identifiable phone.
Hands him a telephone number. Fucking hell.
Yeah.
I mean, they're not like going to give him a phone with it pre-programmed in or anything like that. It's
gives him a scrap of ripped paper,
which immediately
with a telephone number
in an open-topped car rushing across the plains. Immediately flies off. He's like, oh well, never mind.
Also, don't ring this from an identifiable phone. Only one that's like disguised as a hamburger or something like that. You know, like it's disguised as Snoopy or something.
Yeah.
Make sure, ask a few people, hey, what's this? And if someone says it's a phone, don't ring me from that. It's okay. No, okay. Here's a burger phone. Use that. So never from an identifiable phone. Anytime you call, brings them one step closer to catching us. That's interesting, isn't it? Like every phone call, it's like Grandma's footsteps or What's the Time, Mr. Wolf. But the game is that you're only allowed to walk forwards when Samael's on the phone to Fancy. So they've got it tapped. They're like, no, he's not doing it. He's not. Okay, he's on the phone. Run. Okay, stop. No, he's finished. Stop. Okay. How much we moved 8 meters. Oh, that's not very far. Yeah. How much further we got to go? 24 miles. All right. Well. Don't phone me much because they keep. You know how the game works.
Yeah, maybe they've fixed. You know, like they always try and trace phone numbers in all movies and all television shows, including like Teletubbies.
It's famous for it. Yeah,
all over everything now. But the person always hangs up before they can get through, and so Liam Neeson gets away. Well, maybe in this once you hang up, it doesn't stop. It doesn't like completely stop. It just pauses until someone phones again, and then it continues tracing it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think I seem to remember that is a completely made up, untrue thing, right? That whole takes a certain amount of time to trace a phone call thing is bollocks, right? I'm pretty sure I read that. I feel like I read something about either you have a system set up that immediately just knows where a phone call is coming from, or you don't. So there's not like, yes, if you stay on the line for a minute and a half, then we can trace the call. It's like either they've already done it, right? Like it's already set up,
yes,
or it's just impossible. But in movies, obviously, it happens all the time. So if that's true, I don't remember. If that's true and it is bollocks, then why shouldn't it work the way you said? You know, if everyone accepts that it's like, yeah, as long as you stay on the line for a minute and we can trace it, then, okay, in this film, if you're on the line for a cumulative minute, then they can trace it. It's the same.
Yeah, that's fine.
Anytime you call brings them one step closer to catching us, so you'll be on your own. If danger comes, you'll need to make a decision how to act. And once you've made that decision, do it. None of this is necessary. And I'm going to carry on. If it was a bad decision, don't regret it. Get on. Else you'll be lost, Sam. You hear? Decide. Do. Don't regret. Nothing that I'm saying means anything whatsoever. Hey, listen, you'll be on your own, so you're going to have to make decisions. And once you've made a decision, make sure you follow through with that decision, even if it's a bad decision. And, like, if you go to the shops and you're like, I'm going to buy some prawn cocktail flavour crisps. And then you're like, oh, no, that's a really bad idea. They're disgusting. Make sure you still buy those crisps and you don't regret it and you eat them. And like, oh, no, hang on, I'm allergic to prawns. Oh, my head's exploding. Don't worry, you decided. Don't regret it. Get on. Else you'll be lost, Sam. Decide, do, don't regret, and die, okay?
Yeah. The 4 Ds. Decide, do, don't regret, die. Yeah.
Samael says, sure. And Kafensi, who thinks he said something wise, says, repeat it. Decide, do, don't regret, die. And then Kafensi says, decide, do, don't regret. And Samael says, decide, do, don't regret. They're both acting like this means anything. Good.
It does. I've written a really brilliant mantra. It's really important. You never thought of that before, had you? Deciding to do a thing and then doing it. No one had thought of deciding about doing a thing before in the past until I wrote it down.
Everyone's been going around deciding and then not doing anything. And that's why the human race is dying out. Because people are like, oh, I think I'll have some food. And then they don't do it and then they die. So now it's time to start doing things.
Do regret not doing it. So you shouldn't regret doing what you decided.
Decide to have a sandwich. Have the sandwich. Don't regret having the sandwich. Die. I'm thinking of revising that last one. Good, we're near. Stop now, Megacles.
But it is the audience's. This is the first time the audience find out that character is called Megacles. So that's a brilliant moment for them. They're like, what did he just say?
They're not sure if he's talking to the driver or the car. Stop now, Megacles. We'll go on foot from here. Come along, driver Jeff.
It does mean that then. Like, stop driving, turn into a person. That's what he's just said. We'll go on foot from here.
All right, so Samael and Kafensi are on their way to find Mortimer Sykes so that Samael can take his place.
Oh, right.
Cut to exterior train station near Cambridge, evening. The thing about train stations is, like, they usually aren't called near a place, are they? Like, I'm just on my way to near Cambridge station. I mean, I admit many stations are near Cambridge, but they usually have names. Like London, that's quite near Cambridge.
London Station, yeah, that one, that famous station.
London Station. Hello, I'm at London Station. Can you come and pick me up, please? No, there's 240 stations. Kafensi and Samael are creeping along a latticed path. A latticed path.
Sounds like a rail track to me.
With a second level at head height either side. Kafensi and Samael are creeping along a latticed path with a second level at head height either side.
They're just walking on the rail track, aren't they? And that's the platform. Surely that's what that
means. Yeah, okay, that makes sense. Fuck, no, you're right. The sound of a horn and engine, we realise they are on a rail track.
But I mean, we would have realized. We would have realized if you could see the rail track. Like, just because I've decided to call it a latticed path, if you point a camera, no one's going to be in any doubt
Yeah.
about what it is.
No, that works
Ooh,
when you're writing.
Wonder what that latticed path they are walking
Yeah,
on is.
that second level at head height either side with platform 1 and platform 2.
Yeah.
It's a fucking mystery.
Is that Ron Weasley with a trolley there? What's he doing there on that second level? I wonder what's he up to. Where's he going with his wizard hat on? Damn you, J.K. Rowling, for the first thing I associate with train stations now is Harry Potter.
No, it isn't. It's Ron Weasley. For some reason. What's the best thing to mention out of Harry Potter? I know. Ron Weasley's on the platform with a trolley.
I mean, he is the best thing to mention out of Harry Potter because he's not Harry or Hermione.
He's not Hat Harry or
He's not Hat Harry.
None of those three. I mean, those are three characters from Harry Potter. You are correct. Is he Hat? Is he Harry? Or is he Hermione? No, he's Ron Weasley. Hello, man. Ron Weasley's on my head. That's famous for that line, of course.
Yes.
All right. Kefensi indicates in the darkness silhouetted figures with guns on the platforms either side ahead of them. The train approaches. Suddenly, they are lit up. The train is on their track.
Oh my.
They jump tracks and run towards the train and are soon out of the light. The train has 4 carriages attached to the engine and thereafter coal trucks. Wow, so this is... it's a steam train. I was going to say it's an old-fashioned train, but then the next line is, it is a steam train. The carriages have a feel of the Orient Express about them.
Ooh. Hercule Poirot is there. Solving a crime. Everyone did it. Everyone did it. Spoilers.
I think that everybody did it, okay? I'm Hercule Poirot. I'm not wrong, though. I tell you what, if I say everyone did it, then I definitely got the murderer in there somewhere.
Yeah.
I'm a
That's true.
fucking genius. Everyone did it, including me, just in case. I might have forgotten,
including that coal truck. It did it as well.
Yes. And the coal truck did it, this table did it, I did it, Mrs. Marple did it. I think she got married, okay? It's okay.
Yeah.
I didn't
To
get
her
it right.
brother,
It's just
so
she got
she got the same name.
yeah. And also Steve Murderer did it. Just probably not him, but just in case, Okay, I got it right again. Put everyone, including all the tables, in prison, and especially Mrs. Marple. She got married to her fucking brother. That's definitely a crime.
Yeah.
I like the way. This reminds me of the way that I can't remember what I heard it not long ago, where you compare. You compare something to the Sistine Chapel, and I point out it's like the second time you've done that, because it happens in Rapunzel. I remember it's happened in something else recently, and you say, "I've only heard of one ceiling." Okay. All right, I only know one ceiling.
That's true.
Yeah, and
That's
there's
a
this
fair
kind
point.
of like straight to the like what am I going to say? Am I going to describe the train, or am I going to go? No, it's like the Orient Express. I've heard of a train. Okay, there's one famous train and there's one famous ceiling. So they're getting mentioned anytime a ceiling or a train turn up.
It's true. But that has kind of changed to Ron Weasley now. But
No, that's a train station. The train, Orient Express. Train station.
I think Ron Weasley's not a train station, is he? He's
Ron Weasley, okay. Ceiling, Sistine Chapel. That's the Howard Long way of shorthand for writing. It's not perfect, admittedly. So, I mean, it may be true that Ron Weasley is not a station. But hey, who is perfect? The other two are correct.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah, good.
Come on.
Yeah.
The driver comes onto the platform and talks with the main guard, whilst other guards begin to haul sacks of coal onto the coal trucks.
Nice.
All right, so the main guard says, "How do, Elan?" And Elan says, "All right, Warren." All good. Few train spotters taking pot shots up in Elmit, but mostly quiet. What's going on? What are these words they're saying? But mostly quiet.
I don't see what you don't understand. The words?
Yeah, it's the words and the script. It's just one of those exchanges, isn't it, that you're not meant to focus on. It's just a bit of background texture, isn't it, right?
Yeah.
How do, Elan? All right, Warren. All good. Few train spotters taking pot shots up in helmet. But mostly quiet.
There's I guess it's just like I'm trying to like always come up with cool nicknames for things or whatever. So train spotters are not your typical
not
train
actual-
spotter. They're people that are just shooting at the train. They're shooting at the train like freedom fighters shooting at the train because the train is like a champagne kind of vehicle. It's a gold. It's going from like Edinburgh to London, and it just stops to pick up some coal in Cambridge or something. And some people have been shooting at it in Elmet, wherever Elmet is.
Kafensi and Sam sneak along the sides of the carriages from the engine past carriage 4, 3, 2 and continue along to the rear of the first carriage. Exterior, first carriage, evening. At the rear of the first carriage, above the couplers, is a door with a window which leads into the carriage. Kafensi and Sam clamber up. Cut 2, interior, rear first carriage, evening. A small area with toilets either side. A short, spotty youth opens the window and sparks up a cigarette. Dr. White comes from the cabins. He is a tall, ancient, forbidding, dark-skinned gent. The youth nods at White. White tuts an ominous tut. The youth frowns. Cut 2, exterior, rear first carriage, evening. Kafensi sees that there is someone else there. Kafensi signals Sam and they get back down quietly. Cut 2, exterior, platform, evening. Still can't take any risks these days. Harvard, take Werner and Edwards and check the... fuck's sake. When is this set? How far in the distant future is this set where none of the current names still exist?
Oh.
Why is someone called Harvard? Harvard, like the university.
Yeah.
Take Werner, I guess that's but with a V, not W, and Edwards, like Edwards, but with a U.
Yeah, it's probably like 2024.
Harvard, take Werner and Edwards and check the track. Make sure no one's hanging on. Cut 2, exterior, first carriage, evening. So this is danger for Kafensi and Samael, right? Because the guards are looking for people like them.
Yeah.
From under the window, Kafensi and Samael hear the murmur of voices. Elsewhere, they hear the sound of guards approaching, boots crunching on the gravel. Cut 2, exterior, second carriage, evening. Crunch, crunch on the gravel as the guards make their way along, shining torches to search for stowaways. They split up. Werner passes through to the other side of the train. You know, everyone's favourite character, Werner,
Yeah.
passes through to the other side of the
So
train.
we can walk through trains. That's amazing.
Cut 2, exterior, rear first carriage, evening. Samael and Kafensi can hear the footsteps of the guards edging ever closer.
Fuck.
Cut 2, exterior, first carriage. Edwards and Harvard are about to turn the corner.
What
Second
corner?
and
What
third
fucking
favourite
corner is a
characters.
train?
The train, the train corner. It's one of those L-shaped trains. They have them in America, right? I've heard them call it the L train. You know the L train?
Yeah, the L train,
It's got a
yeah.
big corner in the middle.
Yeah.
Cut 2. Exterior, rear, first carriage, evening. They turn the corner, shining the torch where Samael and Kafensi were, but they have gone.
So they shine their torch at the gone Kafense and the gone Samael.
Yes. Samael and Kafensi are crouched underneath the couplers. The guards will never think of looking there in the one place there is to hide, between the carriages. Edwards says, you hear something? But I'm not coming up with a new voice for him because fuck Edwards. Cut 2, interior, rear first carriage, evening. Okay, so White. Is White going to be a character or is he just going to get one line? Because he's got a name.
Yeah.
So we need a name for White.
A name for him? How about Dr.
So
White?
we need a voice for, No, we need a new name for White because he is a black man and it's going to be confusing because I'm playing him and he's called White and I feel like we're going to forget that this is a character of colour.
When you do a B.A. Baracus voice.
I was thinking of a non-racist voice.
Okay, yeah, fair enough then.
What about the valve mechanism that traps blood in the little fella clogs? In short, and I mean short, he may never rise again. And a youth says, I was going to quit anyway. He tosses his cigarette butt out of the window.
The train explodes.
Exterior, rear first carriage, evening. It falls and goes under the couplers where it lands in Samael's hair. That's so unlucky.
Yeah, he's just had it dyed as well, hasn't he? He's just had it done.
Harvard says, oh God, what do all these guards sound like? Harvard says, it's just the passengers. Samael becomes aware of the burning sensation on his head. That's what that says. Samael becomes aware of the burning sensation on his head, the burning sensation of his head being on fire. He grits his teeth. And then Edwards says...
Could you smell burning hair?
No, Edwards says, having a smoky smoke. I like a good smoky smoke, but the missus, she says it's a bad example for the kids. I'm just a guard character who happens to say smoky smoke instead of regular smoke. Having a smoky smoke. Immediate characterisation of me, a guard character, having a little smoky smoke. I like a good smoky smoke, but the missus, she says it's a bad example for the kids. I like to sing my life. Oh, it's not a musical, all right. Oh, sorry, I'll try again. I'm having a smoke. I like a good smoke, but the missus, she says it's a bad example for the kids. Samael is trying not to move. Finally, Harvard says, OK, let's check the rest of the trucks and get inside. It's bloody freezing. I'm going inside-y side. I'm just going inside-y side. I like going inside-y side, but the missus, she says, I can't go inside-y side because of her restraining order against me that keeps me away from her kids. They move off. Sam knocks the burning cigarette from his hair. Oh, my hair's on fiery fire. Oh, look at that man, his hair's on fiery fire. I like to see men with their hair on fiery fire, but my wife says, stop setting fiery fire to my children, okay? Pause. The door opens. White says, psst. Kafensi and Sam scooch up the couplers. Kafensi slips, making some noise. Samael pulls him up. Footsteps on the gravel towards them. Werner appears from the other side of the train, shining a torch just as the door clicks closed. He shines the torch around before moving on. Cut 2, interior, rear first carriage, evening. White says, close. Kafensi, dark. White and Kafensi embrace. They know each other.
Why does he say dark?
Doc. Doctor. Or Doctor Who.
Yeah, it's better.
No, he says dark. Doctor. White and Kafensi embrace. It is good to see you, Keffy. See, he could have been called Jeff. My full name is Jeffensi, but I like to be called Jeff. Jeff for short.
Yeah.
It is good to see you, Jeff. This is Samael.
Samai.
White inspects him, and since he's a doctor, I assume that's like some kind of rectal
Could
examination.
Could you cup your bollocks and cough, please?
I thought you were supposed to cup my bollocks. No, this is the future. We no longer do that. You have to cup your own bollocks and cough. Future medicine. Now I've got a robot to do it for me. Please cup your bollocks and cough. Yes, a lot of medicine has been robotised. Please cup your bollocks and cough. What's going on? No, White inspects him. Yes. It is an adequate likeness. Taller, wider, but passable. He is taller and wider and looks nothing like the Chinese gentleman that he's going to be replacing, but it'll do.
Yeah, isn't he like the dog that he's replacing?
He's a little bit taller than my dog, but it will do.
But
Can you say woof?
If we put this bone in his mouth, nobody will notice the difference.
Pleased to be of service. The train whistles and starts to move. Come, we have little time. Cut 2. Interior corridor evening. They follow White along the train corridor and into a private carriage compartment. Red velvet and gold leaf. Ooh. It is a gold train for rich people. Seats for 6 and a table between them. Ron Weasley is here, eating a chocolate frog. Oh, yeah, my name's Ron Weasley. You got my head? He says. Then he shuts up and he's not in it after that. In here is Mortimer Sykes reading a book. He is vaguely similar to Samael, but this guy has a smaller nose, smaller head in general. All right, I know who's playing this part.
No, I actually wrote this part for myself.
So he's vaguely similar to Samael, but this guy has a smaller nose, smaller head in general. He also seems younger, less world-worn due to his silver status. So silver is like middle class, is it? Is that the deal? Yeah. He looks up as they enter. Samael and Kefensi are shabbily dressed in comparison to White and Sykes and look out of place in this plush carriage. Mortimer says, "Oh," and White says, "Mr. Sykes, I'd like you to meet some acquaintances of mine, Samael Fell and Kefensi Guillaume. Kefensi Guillaume. Samael Fell and Kefensi Guillaume. He's from everywhere." Mortimer says, "Another blackie, eh?"
Wow.
So, is Mortimer black? Or is he just racist?
Mortimer's a white racist.
Okay. So, another black person, eh? There you go.
Yeah, fix that.
Kefensi turns and downs the blinds on the windows to the corridor. What's going on? Does he not know? Because it's okay. I may have twisted the truth a little.
Yeah, in the original meeting, they told him that Mortimer Sykes was dead and he was going to replace him.
Oh, did they?
Yeah.
Oh shit! And Samael says, "All right, so Mortimer's not part of this plan. I thought they were going in to meet someone who was part of the plan, but this guy Mortimer doesn't know who they are, right?"
No.
So when White says, "Mr. Sykes, I'd like you to meet some acquaintances of mine," he's actually introducing them. Not like, "These are the people you were expecting, who are part of the plan that we are all part of." No, it's not that. It's like, "Here are some acquaintances of mine," and then Mortimer's like, "I'm a massive racist and probably deserve to die." I'm immediately, the first words out of my mouth are going to be racist words, which actually does track. I mean, that is what racists are like. It's amazing how quickly racists can make racist comments to other white people. And I know this because I worked for 6 months in a bar in Tenerife in the Canary Islands, where I went in the hope of escaping England and then discovered it was there.
Yeah.
But it wasn't just England; it was the fucking worst people from England. And I worked in a bar, and it was shocking how quickly a person could come to the bar to order a drink, what you would think would be quite a simple transaction that does not need many words, and still manage to be fucking racist in that very simple transaction, assuming that I, because I'm also white, would join in and also be racist, and be very disappointed when I didn't, and also, was quite rude to them.
Oh, fun, you. Come on, join in with our racism. We'll have a good laugh.
It was awful. So I do believe this character who immediately in his first line demonstrates his racism. It's not just a kind of script shorthand. It's also what people are fucking like. So they go in. Mortimer's like, "Oh, racism's good, isn't it?" And then Kefensi turns, lowers the blinds, and Samael doesn't know what's going on. This is confusing. You told me he was dead. Kefensi says, "I may have twisted the truth a little. He's alive. Not for long. Look at me big robot gun that I've brought from robot space. I'm going to use it to murder him in a moment." "What are you talking about? What is all this, Dr. White?" Do you think I'm performing it? As I said, I'm trying to perform this as well as you would.
Yeah.
Do you think I'm doing that?
I mean, you're doing better than me. Like, the next time I get an acting job, I'll just send you.
"Hello, my name's Howard Long. I've come to play the part of racist." "What are you talking about? What is all this, Dr. White?" Kefensi jumps Mortimer. That sounds like he's playing leapfrog over him, right?
Or doing sex with him, right? That's what jumps means.
Kefensi jumps Mortimer. Mortimer says, "Help!"
Jumping.
Kefensi puts a hand over Mortimer's mouth to shut him up. That sort of noise probably happens. Kefensi says, "Help me hold him down, Samael." "You lied to me. Help me or it's over for all of us."
Wow.
Mortimer is squirming and trying to shout. White is busy rooting around in his doctor's bag. Root. I'm just looking for some syringes. Samael lunges forward and assists Kefensi. White has produced a syringe.
He should have had that ready, shouldn't he? He should have had that ready.
Yeah, which he walks purposefully towards Mortimer with. Mortimer's eyes widen as he sees the large needle headed his way. Mortimer tries to scream, but is muffled. White plunges the syringe into Mortimer's neck.
Nice.
He struggles, but slowly. As the tranquilizer takes hold, he struggles less and is finally asleep. They let him go. You lied to me, you fuck.
Dick fuck.
You said he'd already be dead rather than he would be dead shortly after I met him because you had murdered him. I was relying on you to do the murder when I wasn't there to watch. Oh, wow. Okay, so Samael says, you lied to me, you fuck. And Kafensi says, quit the bedlam, dick brain. This is not the time. This is not the time for maligning Pinchleaf Bedlam, all right? Don't even bother with it, all right? Don't you start. I know it doesn't make sense that Mr. Flux there with a parrot. I know that, okay? Just stop it. It's not the time or the place. We've got bigger things to think about than maligning Pinchleaf Bedlam. Quit the bedlam, dick brain. We had to keep him alive to do the transplant. Dr. White busies himself with preparations for the transplant, setting up tools on the table. What are they transplanting? Is it some kind of ID thing?
Yeah.
It's not his hand, is it? It's not his hand.
It's not his hand. It's his fingertips and his eye.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Wow. And we're going to watch this now, are we?
Yeah!
All right, everybody. You might want to, if you're squeamish, you might want to close your eyes for this next bit. It's going to be unpleasant. I'm going to be closing my eyes. Oh, shit. Oh, no, I can't see the script. All right, so Samael says, why didn't you tell me? Why? You wouldn't have agreed. Damn right I wouldn't. Mm-hmm. Now you have no choice. Oh, I have a choice. He has to die. He knows about Doc. So yes, the choice is whether you will waste his life or use it for the common good. Yes. So the choice is whether you will waste his life or use it for the common good. Also, did you not hear him being racist? Like his first line was racism. Don't you want me to murder him? I suppose so, yeah, I want them. Samael says, the common good? Mm-hmm. Samael snorts derisively. But still, I look nothing like him. Mm-hmm. Nobody knows him in London. You know London, right? You know London's great, isn't it? You know you can call a Chinese man to bring you a curry. It's fucking amazing. Nobody knows him in London. White taps his syringe. His pinkies and peepers are his identity. His pinkies and peepers, just to make things more confusing. Why didn't I say fingers and eyes? That would have been nice at this point to make it clear what's going on. But no, I said pinkies and peepers so that everyone's a little bit confused.
I'm just going to have a quick smoky smoke and then we'll get on with it.
Yes, and then I will amputate his pinky pinks and peepee peeps, and I will sew them onto yours. Samael says, we can let him live, dump him in the slums. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Yeah, nice. Cut his eyes out and his fingers off, and then just dump him in the slums. That would be better, that's a much nicer thing to do. Tush, worse than death. And if he survives and is found. Now, give me your right hand. Samael pauses, then proffers his hand. Mm-hmm. This will numb the pain. White injects him. Samael grimaces. Kafensi sets about removing Sykes' shoes, tie, shirt, and trousers.
Sexy times are about to happen.
Remove your shirt. Samael strips down to his waist. This is show off the male stars, right? This is get some nipples out.
Yeah. Meanwhile, I'm getting undressed by someone else in the background, aren't I? Because I'm.
Yes, you are. Yeah, it's true. I forgot you are Mortimer.
Wrote myself in because I knew that part would get nude, and everyone would be left to see my ripped body.
And not only would that part get nude, but it would be next to another nude man. Yeah, being felt up by a couple of other clothed men. But take what you can get. Dr. White removes a small electric surgical circular saw reminiscent of a pizza cutter.
A weird-looking pizza cutter.
He flicks a switch on it and the blade spins and the noise is just like that of a dentist's drill.
Or a mini circular saw. Sounds like that.
Yeah.
Is one.
Looks like
one.
Sounds like
and is one.
All right, I'll redo it. Dr. White removes a small electrical surgical circular saw reminiscent of a small electrical surgical circular saw. Yeah. He flicks a switch on it and the blade spins, and the noise is just like that of a small electrical surgical circular saw.
Amazing, yeah.
Nailed it. Sit down, Mr. Fell. We'll be doing you first. Can you feel your hand? No. Good. Samael sits and places his hand on the table. White sits beside him. It is a gruesome manicure. Samael tries not to look but cannot help himself as he sees, but we do not. Underlined that. Thank God. All right, everybody, you can open your eyes. We're not going to see this. But Samael watches his fingertips get cut off. Oh God, we're gonna need.
How do we know that's happening though? If we don't see it, how do we know that's what's happening?
I think you can imply that pretty easily. Yeah, I mean, I think that's been. Set
I would
up.
think that he was taking the whole hand off though, wouldn't I? Because he didn't.
Yeah, maybe
because he said pinkies and peepers. I'm like, what's going on? What's happening?
Yes, yeah, he should have said fingertips.
Yeah. Also, of course, in this future, biometric technology also requires a penis print, so that'll be cutting that off as well.
Oh, you never told me that. Oh yes, we've got to cut your knob off.
Yeah, that's how you open doors in the future. You stick your knob in. That's a doorknob. It's a new kind of doorknob.
When the first is removed, White places it in a kidney bowl on the table. Samael gags. White says, "Bucket." Cavency quickly hands a bucket to Samael, who takes it with his left hand and throws up. Okay. As each fingertip is removed, White places them in the kidney bowl. Cavency watches in the background. When all 4 fingers and thumb have been done, we see Samael's hand resting on the table, fingertips removed to the bone. 5 little bones stick out like finger drumsticks. Like it's a cartoon. Like a cartoon. Wow, this is horrible. So gruesome. How are you doing? How's it going there? Now I've just cut the tips of your finger off. Samael says, "I had better days." Feel anything? Ill. Jokes. This is a good time for some jokes. You've got to lighten the mood after we've just we're all just traumatized by what we've just been shown. This is something that films do, isn't it? There you go. Have a very violent or very gruesome bit and then lighten the mood with some gags.
Yes, that's Joss Whedon's fault. Oh.
Now he changed it so that you lighten the mood during the violence, right? Rather than put it afterwards. I have a very dramatic scene and then have a joke to. And that's James Bond, right? That's a kind of have the violent thing, and then when it's over, James Bond goes, "And here's a little quip for you."
That's true. I should have come up with a.
We all feel
better.
better.
Come up with a pun, shouldn't I, about not having fingers or something?
At least I'll finally get some use out of those fingerless gloves I bought.
You like that one?
Yeah, I do. That is it. That is it. On the bright side, at least you will get a use for those fingerless gloves that you bought. I just did that joke. Why are you doing it again? I just thought it might work better as me saying it. Because you should probably be quite traumatised by this. Yeah, but I've already done it. You can't just repeat the joke. Yes, but in the edit, they can take out when you said it. And also, it will seem like Rufus came up with the joke instead of Howard. It will seem like he's the funny one after.
Little Howard dreamed of being a writer, and so he sat and wrote every night. But everything he wrote was fucking shite, yeah. Wubba-dubba-doo, wubba-dubba-doo. Worst writer in the world. Worst writer in the world. Worst writer in the world. Worst writer in the world.
Thank you for listening to this episode of The Worst Writer in the World.
Great.
You're great.
Yeah.
And you know what great people do?
So they conquer places and murder people.
No, not that kind of great.
Okay.
Not people who call themselves great.
Right.
But people who I call great and really are great
They're
because
just
I'm a good
old
judge
people,
of
aren't they?
greatness.
If you put great before someone's name, they're either really good or incredibly old, right?
Yeah, all right, so if you're someone's great-granddad, make sure you go to patreon.com/manbycow and sign up to us for as little as $2 a month and get loads of stuff that you'll definitely enjoy because we appeal to very, very old men.
That's right,
All
yeah.
Thanks for listening, everybody. Bye-bye, milk.
Bye-bye, Mill!
He's a stupid, suck-ass, rubbish writer. Yeah.